Okay.
The matter is between the principal and the Nelnet.
Right.
I'm not the principal, and I do not want to be degraded. Anybody using any derogatory type of language or acting upon me in a derogatory way to try to say I'm a name.
Well, I
Just
mean,
like you're not Nelnet, and
no,
and
I'm not
obviously
saying that.
Nelnet doesn't exist except in name only. Nelnet only exists in name. So well, if a name is just only exists on paper and in the records, well then let the two names resolve it between each other. Or the representatives, if you're not going to personally take responsibility as being the drawer of a bill that's supposed to be Nelnet's bill, if you're not going to take responsibility as the drawer of the bill, because is Nelnet going to draft a bill and sign the bill as the drawer? Is there going to be a validation or a verification of a debt under penalty of perjury signed by Nelnet before a notary? No, it's impossible. Nelnet cannot sign anything. Nelnet cannot be assigned as a witness to any alleged debt. Nelnet cannot say, "Well, yeah, I'm Nelnet. I'm coming on in the court and I'm filing a complaint to bring about a cause of action against this other person, Kevin C. George, and I'm signing this complaint as the witness, and I'm authorizing. Here's my power of attorney to these people who are going to represent me in the court." Is Nelnet going to sign a power of attorney over to its representatives? Can you, fax me or mail me a copy of a power of attorney that Nelnet has signed over to you, so that you would be, you could show your legal standing as someone that's supposed to represent some entity that supposedly exists, some person, because Nelnet's supposed to be recognized as a person in law, a legal person, a legal entity. Okay, well, did this legal entity sign a power of attorney delegating any sort of power to you to represent it as an agent? I highly doubt it.
So did the name do that to you, though? That's what I'm asking.
Listen, I filled out an application to the United States agency,
Right.
okay, for the use of that information, to use that name and social security number, and they registered the information that I supplied. They created a legal name that I can use in order to interface and engage in commerce, or to well, a birth certificate is the primary document that they produce, that they create, that they issue, and that they grant, and that they authorize the bearer to use.
Right.
Well, it's up to the individual person. It's up to the individual person to say whether they're a name or not. But there's no authority or obligation in law for any person to say that someone is a name. Just like I can't say anyone is Nelnet. I can't say anyone is the United States or the state of New York or whatever legal entity. A legal entity does not exist. It only exists on paper.
It's entirely different than someone's name, because everybody goes by their name. They sign their name to whatever. Those are things that were given to you when you were born.
No, it's not, because it was given to the government on an application. When you submit an application to somebody, the information that you give on the application is you're actually giving it to the person you're submitting the application to. So maybe your mother was going to give you the name, but she only instead ended up calling you the name and ended up giving it and submitting it to the government for it to register it and convert it into a legal name. And once the government converted it into a legal name and made a record of it,
right,
they then made a confirmation of the record and put it in a tangible form, in the form of a certificate. And the certificate bears the evidence that the record so submitted has been registered, and it's now certified, and they issued it to your mother or father or whoever. Your mother and your father now has been given a record of something that is considered legal information, and the government is the record owner. They hold the records and the information and the account. And so the use of that information is authorized use. So it's just a name. It's just a name. And the purpose of the name being converted into a legal name is for commercial purposes. Okay, and they are the authority over everything in commerce. They are the authority, not you. You are not the authority over that name that you're using. They are. Whether you notice or not, it doesn't matter. It will only probably be to your detriment that you don't know these things. It's not to their detriment because they have the authority to control the use of that name and any funds being forwarded to that name and being paid in that name. It's their money, it's their name, it's their records, it's their information, it's their documents that you're using. The Social Security card is theirs. The birth certificate is theirs. The passport is theirs. They hold the legal title.
Right. Well, I'm not going to argue with you anymore over it. I understand where you're coming from. All I'm trying to say is the name Kevin C. George will have a negative effect if something happens, which is called default.
Not my problem. Look, the debt clock. The debt clock has a negative effect on everybody. It's not my problem.
I'm telling you what would happen. Okay, so just like I said, as a representative, I understand where you're coming from. I respect what you're saying. Okay. What I go off of is my name, and I represent my name, and I sign my name to things, and I take responsibility for it, okay?
If you believe you have a name.
Right, and I choose to do that. 340
right. But you can't legally prove that. So you talking to me, you giving me false information on the phone. You telling me you have your name or whatever. But you can't legally prove it's your name. You don't hold title to that. You don't have a document of title to what you're calling your name. I'm sure you're using a legal name.
Sir, I don't know what else to tell you, okay? I cannot put it on file as the address, okay?
What, 2250 Notion Avenue?
Phone number, okay? I can't do anything else.
That's
all I can do. I can make a note of what you did and I discussed today, but other than that, I can't do anything else.
So the people that I've previously spoken to, they haven't made a note of what we spoke about?
They've made a note each time, but they cannot change that address. And it shows on here that they requested copies of your phone and emails, okay? So, I mean, it's not that we have ignored what you've said at all. It's been on the account. It's just we can't do anything. We can't send the information to the United States Treasury to have them repay the loan. That's not how it works.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of other people out there that, well, actually everybody out there, I've never come across this problem before, that actually do take responsibility for their name and they repay their debt. And that's all there is to it. So I'm saying that Kevin C. George is going to have a large problem if this loan defaults. And it's 343 days past due right now.
That's actually the United States problem. I mean, if the United States is going to have a problem, I think what's reasonable to do is to contact them and let them know, hey, you guys are going to have a problem. If we don't collect the debt in this name, you guys. Because why are you telling me as if I'm the owner or if I'm responsible? Like,
because you called in.
I just called in to help you guys. I just called in to help you and tell you, look, you sending the mail or you sending these correspondences here to the wrong mailing location. So I mean, that's like me getting this lady's or who lives across the street mail over here. I mean, hey, I'm not responsible for her stuff. So it's the same thing. I'm not responsible for this name. If I'm authorized to use it, I mean, you need to contact